I think we're ready to go. We have a good number of attendees joining us here today. Want to thank you all for being here. My name is Nancy Bushko. I'm the Director of Admissions and Professional Programs here at Tufts Gordon Institute. I'm joined here today by my colleague, Sam Legero, as well as two current students in our program, Dave and Jessica, who you'll meet momentarily. And in the background here with us is another member of our team, Corinne, who will be monitoring the Q&A as we go through the session, and want to encourage you to make this session as interactive as possible. Please ask your questions, get the information you need. This information session really is for you so that you can gain a deep understanding of what the MSEM program is all about, what we offer to people, the impact and value of the program. So we really encourage you to ask questions as we go along. We'll save time at the end for questions as well, but we'll also try to intersperse answers to questions that come up as we move through the session. So with that said, again, my name is Nancy. I've been here at the Gordon Institute for quite a long time. I've been part of the Gordon Institute. In my role, I oversee the admissions of our two graduate programs, this engineering management program, as well as our full-time innovation and management program. I work with our team here to work on the development of new educational programs, and also oversee our corporate and alumni relations, which is an important part of building a community for all of our students that they can leverage throughout their careers. So with that, let me turn it over to Sam to say a few words of introduction.
Great. Thanks very much, Nancy. And good day, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. My name is Sam Legero. I'm the academic director of the MSEM program and a professor of the practice. And I teach technology strategy. And in fact, probably the first course you take, should you join us, EM 201 will be my course. I've been at Tufts since 2004. Prior to that, I spent several decades at Polaroid Corporation, where I was a vice president responsible for R&D. And again, thanks very much. It's a delight to have you join us. Thanks. Excellent.
Thank you very much, Sam. And now it really gives me great pleasure to introduce Dave and Jessica, two current students in our program. Really appreciate you guys taking the time out of what I know are very busy days for both of you to talk to people and share insights about your experience. Dave, congratulations, just another week to go and you'll be graduating, and that's exciting news. And Jessica, I know you're along your journey and making great progress. And so we'll start out just by having each of you tell a little bit about yourselves, your background, what you do in your current role, and then maybe just think back about the time when you were applying to the program, thinking about what was driving you to consider a graduate degree in engineering management at that time, and why you chose Tufts. So Dave, we'll start with you.
Sure. Thank you guys for having me today. My name's Dave Measley. So bit on my educational background, I went to Northeastern University for my undergrad degree, where I studied chemical engineering. And then, I'm wrapping up my degree at Tufts with the Gordon Institute for my Master's of Science in Engineering Management next week. Excited to walk and wrap up this process. And it's been a great journey. I currently work in the biotech space. I'm at a company called Seres Therapeutics. We focus on medication for diseases of the gut and digestive health. And I actually work as a supervisor there for the process engineering team. So I oversee a small team supporting development and manufacturing operations with a focus on the facilities and the equipment for the company. So when I was originally applying to the MSEM program, I was thinking about my future in the industry, and I had a lot of uncertainty coming out of my undergraduate degree. It's very technical focus on that. I didn't have a thorough understanding of what drove a business or how I might break into the managerial space. I had a lot of concern and uncertainty there that I wasn't quite ready for that. And I wasn't sure that on the job I'd get everything I needed there. So I actually worked with several alumni from the MSEM program at Tufts, and they all spoke very highly of it. I did some looking around and research, and Tufts really did stand out to me because of those overwhelming recommendations. I got to speak to some of the staff and the different professors in the program, and I really appreciated the time that they took to talk to me about the program, and that kind of shown through my whole experience at Tufts is the attention that I received and the care there. So having completed the program, I'm really happy to have made that decision. So it's been great.
Excellent. Thanks so much. Jessica, we'll turn it over to you.
Awesome. So yeah, my name is Jessica from Mayor Bello. I'm currently working with Blue Origin, as it says there. My background is actually in electrical engineering. I actually have another master's in electrical engineering that I got from the University of Oklahoma, and I have been working in the aerospace industry throughout my career. Actually, I spent a lot of time working as a technical individual contributor, and eventually I became a technical lead for one project. And after having lived through like the individual contributor life and going through like technical leadership, I realized I wanted to do a little bit more on the management side, learning a little bit more about that. I wasn't quite sure if I wanted to do an MBA, and at the time I was working with Draper, and they had an info session about the Tufts and MSEM, and it really aligned with exactly what I wanted to do with my career at the time. So after evaluating other programs in the area that I was actually living, I decided to go with Tufts because it seemed to fit best with my intention. And actually it has helped me grow significantly in my career from an individual contributor to a senior manager right now at Blue Origin. So it's been a quite incredible opportunity. I think it's valuable. And really when I was trying to decide if it was the right program or not, I think the inputs from people that I was working with or that were working in the same company that I was really important for me, but also kind of like coming to the info session and gathering from Sam and from some of the other people that were going through the program, the experiences and the things that you can actually learn through it. So that's what motivated me to pursue it.
Excellent. Thank you both very much. And we'll hear a lot more from Dave and Jessica as we go through the session. I think the first place that I always like to start when we talk about the MSEM program is just setting the context a little bit about the relevance and the importance of this type of program today. I mean, why the MSEM? I would say I've been here for 27 years, and I don't think this program has ever been any more relevant than it is today. When you think about the dynamic time that we live in, how much new technology is being introduced, and not only that, the rate of change of technology, it is just incredible. Really makes your head spin in terms of the dynamicism of the environment that we're in today. And it doesn't take, you see these topics and these technologies everywhere you turn today, in industry as well as in the news, from AI and machine learning to technologies like CRISPR, where you can slice and dice genetic material, to the Internet of Things, which just connects our world and just extremely complex systems. This is the environment in which we're working today. And what we believe here and what we have seen through the impact and value of the MSEM degree is that this type of world we're living in requires a new type of leader. Somebody who not only has the technical skills, just like Dave and Jessica did through their undergraduate or even their graduate education, but also a complementary skill set that allows them to lead and manage and thrive within this complex environment. And that is exactly the mission of Tufts MSEM. We set out with this particular program, and we've been doing this and creating technology leaders for over 30 years. We have a long track record of success. We used to offer this program fully on campus for many years, up until 2020. And it was in 2020, before the pandemic even struck, that we realized that we needed not only to provide a high quality, rigorous, personalized experience, but we needed to try to do that in a way that was going to be flexible and convenient for working professionals today. And that's when in 2020, Sam Leggero, along with other faculty at the Gordon Institute, introduced this online program. And I think the important thing to consider and to think about is this is not a MOOC. This is not a program where you sit behind a computer and digest material completely on your own. You will do some of that. There will be asynchronous learning, but we've designed it to be best-in-class online learning. And what that means is that you have carefully curated best-in-class content that is going to teach you the business and leadership skills you need to be a leader. But you also have the opportunity to meet online in synchronous sessions with your classmates, with your faculty members. And if you so choose, you can actually decide to come to campus. And I know both Dave and Jessica have done the immersive experience, which maybe they'll talk about in a moment, but you'll have opportunities if you decide you would like to do so to come to the Tufts campus and get to meet your fellow classmates and faculty in person. And we have a robust select set of electives that you'll hear about, and a really strong core curriculum that you'll engage with. And you can do that at your own pace. So Jessica, who is doing it in a little bit of a longer time frame, she can do that because it fits her schedule and meets her needs. And not only that, you can speed it up or slow it down as you go through the program. So we believe that this program, this best-in-class online learning, provides our students with the best of all worlds in terms of its quality, its rigor, its convenience, and the learning outcomes that it provides. Let me go back, sorry about that. Another thing that I always like to point out is that you're not just joining the Gordon Institute and the MSEM program, you're joining the Tufts University community. And as a graduate student in the MSEM program, you have full access to all the rich resources, network connections that Tufts University provides. So whether it's connecting with alumni across the university, accessing other on-campus or virtual events or networking or educational opportunities, or even for those who are looking down the road to pursue other career options, you have the full resources of Tufts Career Services. So just thinking about the university beyond the institute that you're a part of, it's an incredible opportunity. And I think nothing speaks more strongly about the impact and value of the program than the data, than the results, than what we see our alumni doing when they graduate, and even before they graduate. And a statistic that we're extremely proud of that has been really at this level for so many years is the fact that more than half of our students, now close to 60% of our students, are promoted while they are still in the program. And I believe Dave and Jessica are both examples of that statistic. And that just shows you that the pragmatic approach that we have, the real world learning focus that we have, where you're learning something that you can apply immediately on the job, that provides immediate emphasis to your employer that you can do things that now that you couldn't do before you started the program, and that you're bringing real value to the organization, and that results in advancement while students are still enrolled. And then all the other statistics about students reporting back in exit surveys, they do feel their leadership strength has increased significantly. And they also look back and say, yes, this experience was worth the investment that I made in time and money. So we feel very strongly. There's actually a career outcomes report that's on our website that you can access if you'd like to take a look at more of that data. So with that said, turn it over to Jessica and Dave just to share a little bit about how you feel, even at the point you're at right now while still being in the program, how you feel it has impacted your on-the-job performance, whether how you've advanced, and maybe what your long-term opportunities you see for yourself in terms of your career. And Jessica, we'll start with you.
Thank you. I think for me, it has been significantly a shift from individual contributor to actual management roles. I always had an interest into leadership, and it was something that I was really passionate about. I think after my first semester, actually, in MSEM, I realized that I had this systemic approach to problems, and really with the classes we were taking that semester, it helped me really channel that in a better way. And as I was looking for new opportunities to grow my career, it actually provided me all the tools and resources I needed to apply to a leadership role within another company. So that was the first thing that it helped me with. And then throughout the last year, although I have slowed down in my classes that I've been taking, all the things that I've gathered, I really take it back to my current work, and that also helped me grow the team significantly that I'm working with currently, expand the scope of what we were supposed to be working on, and also see how we could benefit our company better. And that gave me a second promotion at the time, that just rolled out recently. So it really, I would say that definitely it gives you all the resources and tools you need to tailor your career path as you want it to. And I think if that's what you're looking for, it doesn't necessarily have to be on the management trail. It can also be on the technical leadership. I met a couple of folks that actually tailor it that way, and it sounded really passionate. And I feel like what's good about the MSEM program is that you never lose your technical aspect. It just gives you a better overall perspective of how you can contribute to your group, your company, your role, and how can you grow as a professional.
Excellent. Thank you, Jessica. Dave?
Yes. Yes, the program has really helped me with my abilities with my current role. I've been able to speak intelligently to a number of topics, and it's like particularly surrounding budgeting, team dynamics, company goals. Those are all things that I've become more comfortable with. I have more confidence when I'm meeting with members of my company's leadership team now. And I have been promoted during my time at Tufts, moving from an individual contributor into a supervisor role. And I do think the Tufts program played a large part in that. I think it was noted that I was dedicating my time to this program, and my desire to move into that type of role really showed in dedicating my time that way. So I see a lot of long-term opportunities as well. I've had a chance through the program to meet some alumni that are currently in director roles, VP roles, and get to hear about their career journeys. And they've allowed me to have one-on-one time with them. And that's been really helpful for me in understanding where I want to kind of go with my career. So I have some idea of what types of roles I might be targeting, what type of outside the job learning opportunities. Now that I'm finishing up the program, what's kind of my next step for how I want to grow myself. So I think that's been a great opportunity, just like networking in addition to the material that I learned in the courses.
Excellent. Great. Congratulations to both of you on how your career has gone since enrolling. And we'll hear more in a moment from both of you. So thanks again. At this time, it's my pleasure to turn the control over to Sam Legero, who's the academic director of the MSEM program, who's going to give you some in-depth information about actually the program of study, what, when, what, and how you study in the MSEM program. So Sam, I am going to turn it over to you. Let me give you control. So there you go.
Great. Thanks very much, Nancy. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
And, David and Jessica, I'm just energized listening to your stories. It's just got, really congratulations to you both. It's wonderful to hear your stories. So folks, let me tell you a little bit about the curriculum and our program. And please recognize that when we designed the program, we designed it with folks like you in mind, working professionals, people whose time is at a premium, people whose lives go beyond school, it's into the workplace, it's into your family activities. And so we recognized from our experiences with the on-campus program and our insight into working professionals that convenience and flexibility and choice, along with high quality, were really parameters that we had to embed into the design of our program. So let me describe our curriculum that offers part-time graduate students a best-in-class program, as Nancy's pointed out, convenience, flexibility, and multiple course and schedule choices, as I'll show you, and also exposure to well-seasoned faculty that are grounded in real-world problem solving. Folks like myself on the faculty that have been in industry for many years and have faced many of the types of problems that you are facing or are likely to be facing. And so for that reason, we have a program that we call High Touch. There's a lot of exposure of students to professors rather than TAs, teaching assistants. And also, we really pride ourselves on providing information and lessons and concepts that you can bring back to the workplace the next day, the next week, and implement many of the things that you're being exposed to in the classroom. So let's take a look at some of the skills that we help you continue to build on, because most of you come to us with some level of the skills that I'm going to describe, but we will bring them to a new level, to a higher level. So let's start with strategic thinking. And for example, you'll gain insight into how trends, for example, impact business strategy and performance. Well, what trends? Well, economic trends, social trends, technology trends, all the different trends that enable a good strategy to take root and be sustained. We'll also explore ways to configure strategic pathways for sustainable competitive advantage. And I emphasize sustainable. If you have competitive advantage for a year, that's not so good. You really need to be able to have sustainable competitive advantage, and that comes from a good strategy. Also, will help you learn how to leverage the power of analytics and communication skills in structuring and making choices. In fact, we've just introduced this spring a brand new global strategy elective to go with many other electives that I'll describe shortly. When it comes to leadership is clearly one of the hallmarks of our program. We're going to help you gain interpersonal and communication and conflict resolution skills, the kinds of things you run into the workplace every day. And we'll help you discover, your own personal leadership style and your own purpose, your fundamental purpose. We're going to help you refine your critical thinking skills, very important in leadership, and enhance your awareness of emotional intelligence. We spend a good deal of time on the 5 categories, the 5 components of emotional intelligence, and offer suggestions on how you can enhance your emotional intelligence. And also we'll help you better understand the power of the diversity of perspectives and leverage it to be able to build and manage effective teams. You'll have multiple opportunities to work on cross-functional teams, which of course is what you do in the workplace, and will help you leverage those different perspectives. When it comes to business knowledge and let me say intrapreneurial, not so much entrepreneurial, but intrapreneurial thinking, we're going to help you identify and launch and scale and optimize new businesses, often from the inside of a company rather than seeking funding from, say, venture capitalists or angels. We'll help you understand and analyze financial statements to develop insight about how decisions are made and how they impact your company's bottom line. In other words, the language of business. Finance is often referred to as the language of business. And we're going to enhance your vocabulary in the language of business through finance and many other courses. You'll learn how to develop sound business models and analyze business models. There's dozens of business models that are out there. And, a business model is all about how do you make money? You need good technology. You have to have good technology. But if you don't have a good business model to go with it, you're not going to be commercially successful. Or if you have a great business model, but not the technology, you're not going to be successful. So you need both. And we help you gain insight into having both. And we'll discuss the difference between linear and exponential change. And Nancy alluded to that earlier, how changes are taking place in technology so rapidly. So we'll talk about exponential change in different technologies and the convergence of different disciplines that are happening all around us. And in some cases, if you're not ready, causing chaos. And also when it comes to basic knowledge and entrepreneurial thinking, we'll help you use S-curves. We'll get into S-curves and product life cycles and show how different types of innovation and decision-making vary depending on where you're at the S-curve, on the S-curve, or in the product life cycle. And we'll get into different types of innovation, of course, including disruptive innovation, which happens all around us, by the way. You don't want to be disrupted if you can avoid it. And incremental innovation, breakthrough innovation, all kinds of innovation. Innovation is very much on my mind because, as I'll mention very shortly, we're going to be having an immersive in July on innovation, but I'll come back to that. Let's also talk just briefly about the competency of data-driven decision-making, which is very popular today. And with AI, it's like over the top. We'll help you analyze problems and situations where you use statistics and systems thinking and other modern tools, including AI. You'll learn how to leverage diverse data sets and build predictive models. We have courses where you'll learn to build predictive models and make decisions and design experiments that drive performance. And then, excuse me, finally, in product and process development, something near and dear to our heart, you'll gain insight into the full innovation cycle from concept through product launch and everything in between. We'll help you learn customer discovery techniques and how to design and build solutions to solve customer needs. In other words, how does customer input help shape the design of a new product or service? Very, very important to be in that mindset, and we'll help you get in that mindset. And we'll help you get comfortable with product management tools, and methodologies. So these are some of the competencies. There are many more, but some of the competencies that will help you continue to develop and continue to evolve. So, okay, let's talk about the degree itself. You need 32 credits over a 2 to 3 or longer period of time. And the 32 credits are made up of 18 core courses, 18 credits of core courses, which breaks down to 9 2-credit courses. Our courses tend to be 2 credits, and they are 7 weeks in duration. 7 weeks in duration, most of the courses. There are some that go a full 13 or 14 weeks, and then there are the immersives that are weekend activities. But the bulk of our courses are 7 weeks, 2 credits. And so there are 9 core courses plus 2 milestone projects that are also core. And those 2 categories of courses constitute 22 of the 32 credits that you need. Those are required. Then there are 10 credits of electives, and we have a broad and diverse and rich portfolio of electives, which I'll show you momentarily. We have roughly 20 electives right now, just within TGI. And then if you wish, you can take electives elsewhere in the School of Engineering if you meet the prerequisites. So the online experience, goes something like this at a high level. The courses are asynchronous. That is, each week there will be learning objectives that are published in Canvas. You'll have your learning objectives. You'll have a set of videos, and the videos tend to run 6, 8, 10 minutes, and they focus on whatever the learning objectives are. In addition to the videos, there'll be some reading assignments very often. There'll be discussion forums. There may be written assignments, and it'll vary from week to week and from course to course. I'm just trying to give you an idea of the actual experience. And I estimate that the amount of time that it takes you per week, per course, is in the vicinity of 6 to 7 hours. If you take 2 courses simultaneously, that means you need to dedicate somewhere between 12 and 15 hours a week. Now, the online content is asynchronous, but in addition to the asynchronous component, each course every week has a nominal 1-hour synchronous component. So you meet with the professor, and what I tend to do in my synchronous sessions is to go over the key takeaways from the previous week's work and to give the students a heads up on what's coming in the next week, and then try to answer any questions that students might have. And if I think there's a particular concept that needs more discussion live, we'll have that discussion. So asynchronous content with synchronous sessions, typically 2-credit courses that last 7 weeks. Those are the building blocks of the online experience. Now, let's take a quick look at a sample 2-year roadmap, okay? So if you have the bandwidth and the desire to complete the program in nominally 2 years, this is what a schedule might look like. And I'll just take you through one part of it. So let's say you join us in September, in the fall of 2023. In this embodiment, in this 2-year roadmap, you would be taking in the first half of a standard 14-week semester, the first half, the first 7 weeks, 2 courses. My course, Essentials of Technology Strategy, and Leadership and Personal Development, a course taught by Jerry Brightman, where you get one-on-one coaching with Jerry, in addition to many other features of the course. So you would be taking 4 credits, 2 courses simultaneously in your first 7 weeks. Then in the second 7 weeks of the semester, you take your next 2 courses, building financial intelligence and customer discovery and solution design. So that by the end of the fall semester, going into January of 24, you would have 4 courses under your belt, that is 8 credits. You're now qualified by having the first 4 courses under your belt to take your first milestone project, which is called New Product and Service Development, EM205. You must complete the first 4 courses to take your first milestone project. And so in the spring of 24, with this roadmap, you would be taking your first milestone project. And you'd be taking also at that time, during those 7 weeks, some of the other core courses, for example, Introduction to Data Analytics. And then in the back half of the spring semester of 24, you would get your Essentials of Strategic Management and Program and Project Management. And you'd be, at this point, halfway through the program. You'd have 16 credits. And then you could decide what you want to take in the summer. You could take various elective courses, an immersive. And by the way, immersives are offered 3 times a year, including the summer. And then that brings you into the fall, where you can continue taking your core courses and you can take other electives. At the end, the last core course that you will take is called the Capstone Leadership Project. This is the second milestone project. And this is not a team project, but an individual project, which I'll describe in more detail in a moment. I'm not going to take you through a 3-year roadmap, but the 3-year roadmap is just taking the same courses, but extending the time from 2 to 3 years, because we offer most of our courses twice a year. So you can mix and match depending on what your needs are, depending on your schedule. But the key thing to remember, if you take the 3-year roadmap, in the fall, by comparison with the discussion I had earlier, you would take 1 course in the first half of the semester, in the first 7 weeks, not 2, but 1. And then in the second half of the semester, you would take a second course. So that by the end of the year, with a 3-year roadmap, you would have not 8 credits, but 4. And then you would just roll it out, as you can see here, depending on your schedule and on your needs. So in demonstrating your skills and your competencies, this is what the design of our milestone projects is all about. I mentioned earlier that your New Product and Service Development course, EM205, requires that you finish the first 4 courses, because now you have the skills, the knowledge, the competence to work in a cross-functional team to develop from scratch a new product or a new service. And over that 7-week period, you'll focus as a cross-functional team, meeting virtually, you'll focus on coming up with a new idea that you can then present in the last day of the course to a group of faculty that simulates what it would be like if you were presenting your idea to corporate management to get approval. We go through a simulation, okay? And then the Capstone Leadership Project that I alluded to earlier, which is the last core course you'll take. This now is an individual course. This is an individual milestone project where you will select a project in your company and a sponsor in your company, someone a couple of levels above you, someone with some clout, and then you will be assigned a faculty advisor, a Capstone Leadership, or CLP as we call it, advisor, and you will then put together, as if you were a program manager in your company, a proposal to address the problem you and your sponsor have identified. And your advisor will approve it and give you some coaching. And then throughout the semester, you will work on developing solutions to the project that you've identified. And so this CLP gives you the opportunity to really show your stuff, because at this point, you've now been exposed to 10 core courses and probably multiple electives, and you're now applying all of that knowledge to this Capstone Leadership Project. So it's kind of a wonderful thing. It gives you a chance to get exposure in your company, and it gives you a chance to broaden your perspective because you're working as a program manager. Okay, almost finished. Here you see a list, the current list of our portfolio of electives. I won't go through all of them, but you can just kind of take a look. There's a wide range of topics. Remember, you need 10 credits of electives. Most of them are 7-week, 2 credits. A couple of them are 3 credits that last all semester. Lean Six Sigma is a 3-credit all semester course. And we're just introducing something we call the practicum. That's just starting, and that's in a summer, typically a summer 13-week 3-credit course. All the other courses except the immersives are 2 credits, 7 weeks. So let's conclude by commenting on the immersives. And again, I'm delighted that both David and Jessica have participated in our immersives. And on July 14th, we will be conducting our 5th immersive. We started in March of 2022, and that was an immersive focusing on innovation. In July of 22, we had another immersive focusing on leadership. And in October of 22, we had yet another immersive focusing on business analytics. This past March, we've had our first immersive of 23 focused on leadership. And now the next one will be on innovation. And in October, we'll have an immersive that focuses on product management. And typically we have between 20 and 25 students at an immersive. Here you see 24 students in our most recent immersive. And the immersive is designed to do 2 things, 2 major things. First, to allow students to interact with each other and to network face-to-face over a weekend. And second is also to do a deep dive into a particular topic, because our immersives tend to include 4 4-hour workshops, after dinner speakers on 2 evenings, an icebreaker, and a variety of other activities. So the students then have a chance to interact with each other, faculty and staff that's present at the immersive. And it becomes a wonderful experience. From my perspective, I could feel the energy in the room. And of course, for the first time, I'm seeing many of the students, particularly those that live outside the Massachusetts area. So you can consider an immersive. It's a 1-credit elective. And because it's a 1-credit, there's a grade associated with it, and there's work associated with it. And the way we manage that is we release a Canvas site. That's a software that we use in our educational process. And we release that site or publish that site 1 month before the immersive begins. And in that Canvas site, there are some videos, there are some reading assignments, perhaps some case histories, perhaps some written assignments. And the students then can review the material before the immersive. And then I ask them to self-grade. We've put a matrix in place on Canvas where the students can self-grade themselves, both with regard to pre-work and with regard to their participation during the workshop. Because the workshops are highly participative. They consist of lectures and breakout sessions. And so it's a very active, engaging weekend. So that's really what I wanted to communicate with you, to give you, a bird's eye view, if you will, of our program. And now I'd like to turn the floor back to David and Jessica, and perhaps David and Jessica, you can tell us a little something about what you may have learned that you can apply at work, or perhaps a time when you engage with faculty, or how you interact with your fellow classmates, or how you balance schoolwork with the rest of your life, or anything else that you'd like to tell us about the MSEM experience. And David, please, let's start with you.
Sure. Hear me okay? We'll just cut out for a moment there.
Yep.
Yeah. So Sam just kind of spoke to this, but I want to emphasize how well Tufts is able to make a primarily online program feel so personable. So the asynchronous style allows for the flexibility for you to manage your work around your other responsibilities, but there's also a lot of interaction. You do get designated class time with your professors, and they've always made themselves available to me for office hours and one-on-one help. We do a good amount of collaborative work with our cohort to break out into teams during the semesters, work on different projects together. And I've been able to form friendships and network in that way, despite not physically being together. And then in addition, again, there's opportunities to get together in person, as they've mentioned. The weekend immersive opportunities are such a great way to spend meaningful time with other students and faculty. I actually did 3 of these during my time at Tufts, and they were my favorite part of the program. Gave me a chance to meet with the people in my cohort. So for example, I got to meet Jessica in person. She's on the West Coast, but we actually did get the chance to get together and meet. And then we heard some really meaningful talks at these experiences that I've brought up at work and in my personal life. And the program really squashed any concerns I had going in surrounding online learning. You definitely feel the faculty's care and attention to your academic journey. And that's really something that I've valued throughout my experience for sure.
Thank you very much, David. Much appreciated. Jessica.
I mean, I think David said it very well. I think the program makes itself extremely personable. I think we learned a lot of concepts that we probably have heard of. You guys saw a couple of the courses that they put out there. I will refer to the program. The most valuable thing that I think I've learned has been the system thinking. Not like most of you probably come from a technical background. We come trained for working on a specific area and looking at things from a specific perspective. And the program really teaches you how to broaden that view and really care for things in a kind of like overall perspective. I think that has been probably the major thing I can highlight in terms of learning. I will say that I agree with David that the professors make it extremely personable and they make themselves truly available to you regardless of the time or day. Which for me specifically being in the other coast is extremely valuable because honestly, you would not expect you'll get that opportunity. And you would think that, it's hard to coordinate different schedules, but it is harder to coordinate the same schedule. Like that's what we noticed. People on the same time zone had a harder time than people being abroad. So I don't think the program being online offers any problem on that, and they do give you the flexibility to take it at your own pace, which I think it's extremely valuable for anyone that probably is not local or not even in the US. I think we worked with some people when we started that actually did not even live in the US, and that was incredible because they made themselves available. The program also allows them to be flexible with the things, so that was incredibly I think futuristic in my opinion from an educational approach. So if you've been thinking about it, I would say don't let time constraints necessarily prevent you from doing that. And if you have any work conflicts, they tend to work around it, even if they're like deliverables and things around those times, right? And I would say that definitely the immersive gave us a lot of perspective. I've only done one because for me it's harder to be in the Massachusetts area, but it was really great to get to meet a lot of the folks that I started the master's with, get to know many of the alumni and the amazing things they're doing nowadays. So it does show you that any second that you spend on this program definitely pays off, as you can see examples of extreme success and in different areas, right? It doesn't have to be this is the only path for you to be successful after you finish. They definitely make sure that you get a comprehensive view of where the program can take you and the different approaches you can get from and how to tailor your career.
Thank you very much, Jessica. Nancy, back to you.
Thank you both. That was great. Thank you so much for your help and your comments. Let me just share quickly some information about the application process. If people here tonight, hopefully you're getting excited and energized and thinking this may be something that you're interested in pursuing. Want to share some insights. Also want to let everyone know if you do have some questions, Sam presented a lot of information about the program. If there's something that's coming to mind that you have a question about or concern, please just pop it in the Q&A. We'll be happy to answer that. Just want to give you a sense. I think currently we have about 120-ish or so students currently enrolled in the online program along various points of their journey. Although, as Sam mentioned, most of the class sizes are under 30 students or so. So it's a personalized program, yet there are a large community that's involved in some phase of their journey to earn the MSEM degree. You can see the age range quite diverse. 22 pretty much on the young side. That's pretty much an exception to the rule. We typically look for 2 years of work experience. However, there are always exceptions to that. So if you are more recently out of your undergrad and you have some rich experiences in terms of internships, you're more than welcome to apply. And also we do have people much later in their career, maybe in a different phase of life, who are really interested in learning a new skill set and taking on new opportunities. The average comes in somewhere around 6 years of experience. So quite diverse in terms of the level of experience of people in the program. And out of those 120 students, it's amazing, 68 different companies represented. So quite a lot of industry diversity. You can see the pie chart there. About half of the population is made up of people who are in biotech as well as defense and aerospace. Yet you can see we have people in med devices, computer hardware, software, and other industries. So really a rich community. You learn a lot from the faculty, but you also learn a lot from the other people that you interact with and people that you work in teams on. And also diversity in terms of educational backgrounds of students. And for anybody on the line who does not have a STEM undergraduate degree, that does not preclude you. Generally, it can be close to 15 to around 10 to 15% of students who do not have a STEM undergraduate degree, yet they're working in tech industries, are hoping to pursue and further their career in those industries. As long as you have some basic quantitative skill sets, you could be a good applicant. So please don't hesitate to reach out to me if you have questions about your background. And really great over the years, we've been really proud to hover close to about a 50-50 split in terms of gender diversity in the program. And that really also creates a great and dynamic environment that we feel really excited about. We try to make the application to the program a streamlined process. We realize that every one of you is busy and has a lot of demands on your time. So there are no standardized tests that are required. There's a basic online application, a personal statement around 600 to 800 words, which is around 1.5 pages or so, 2 letters of recommendation, and a resume. And also you need to upload unofficial copies of your university transcripts, which most people can download from online university systems these days. If you are accepted and do decide to enroll, then you will need to supply official transcripts, but not for the application process. And for all of you on the line, we'll be sending you instructions on how to have the application fee waived. So if you have not, if you have a phone number and you haven't provided us with your email address, please just shoot me an email, or you can send me a private chat message, and I will make sure that I reach out to you with the instructions for having the application fee waived. The other thing, there's still plenty of time to apply for this September. We do have an upcoming round 3 deadline of May 15th. So unless you've already started your application, I know maybe some of you on the line have already done that. It's probably a little tough to get it in by May 15th, but we have June 15th, and through August 1st, we will be accepting applications for September. So really encourage you, to think about applying and to realize that you still have plenty of time. And please reach out if you have any questions. One quick thing about tuition is that this program is billed per credit. So what's great about that, depending on the pace and the number of credits you're taking, if you decide to go a little slower, you'll be taking less credits, you'll be charged less. So there's a way to pace your program of study to meet your financial needs. And that can be important whether you're paying for some or all of the degree yourself, or whether you're getting a significant amount of tuition reimbursement. Always remember that if you are getting tuition reimbursement and you have an annual cap from your company, if you're doing the program in 2 academic years, you're actually here over pieces of 3 calendar years. So many students, if they do the 2-year roadmap, they're actually getting 3 hits of that tuition reimbursement cap. If they extend to the 3-year, they can get 4 hits, and you can spread the program over 5 years, although we find most people are doing between 2 and 3 years. That right now our data is showing that's the typical timeframe, but depending on your situation, you can certainly extend it longer if need be. And again, I'd be the point person for you. I think my email address will be on the final slide here. I encourage you to reach out to me directly if you have any questions about that. And the only other thing I would say is that maybe you're sitting here and you think, geez, I'm really interested in this, but I'm not sure I want to start with the full degree program. No worries. You can take up to 2 of our 2-credit short courses as just a continuing education student. So through our university, Tufts University College portal, you can sign up, register, pay for and take a couple of courses, and you can sign up for those. I think it's right until the day before classes start, or even a day or 2 after classes start if you had to. And this is a great way to kind of dip your toes in, see if this is something that's right for you, or maybe you're not deciding whether you want to go for a full degree, but you just want to build some specific knowledge in a specific area. And given that robust lineup of core courses and elective courses we have, if there's something there that you're interested in, you can certainly take a standalone course as well. So with that said, I want to ask Jessica and Dave, before we go to Q&A and see if anyone else has any questions, you guys just want to share a minute of words of wisdom, something that a few years ago, as you were sitting there thinking about doing this, something you'd like to share with prospective students who are thinking about engaging in this experience. So Jessica, we'll start with you this time.
I would say if it's within your possibilities, go for it. Probably you all work on companies that offer some sort of tuition reimbursement, that offer any type of path to get education. And even if not, then just try to make it happen is what I would suggest. And I'll tell you this from personal experience. I think what you gain to become a better professional it's far exceeding that any effort you have to make to be part of a program. And additionally, I think if you are thinking of it, it's probably because you want to go and do something about it. So don't think about it too much, just go for it. I think there is much more for you to win if you go and try it out than if you don't even try it out. So my recommendation would be go for it. I know that was something that somebody from Draper said when I was going through one of the info sessions that actually made me go and say, I just have to go for it. So I would say then just go for it and don't even think about it because if you're already thinking about doing it, it's probably the right thing to do.
Thank you, Jessica. Dave, we'll wrap it up with you.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I think one of the scariest parts of starting a program and already working full time is you might be concerned you'll be able to maintain balance in your life. I definitely had those concerns too, but Tufts does really well to work with you. They've spoken today about all the different things that they'll do to make your schedule work. I did push through personally and complete the program relatively quickly, but I found I was enjoying the material enough and able to balance and happily able to manage the workload with the rest of my responsibilities. I think if you're on the fence, I recommend just following up on any questions you might have over those concerns and really considering making the leap. And like Jessica said, just go for it. So I think that's a great way to look at it.
Excellent. Thank you both so very much. You were amazing representatives of the program, and I'm sure everybody here really enjoyed what you have to say. And certainly if people have further questions for Dave or Jessica, you can also let me know, and we can certainly connect you. We only had one question, I think, so far that came in, but somebody was asking about whether the capstone, you have to sort of know what type of project or have a project in mind before you would be enrolled in the program or when you're enrolled in the program. And the answer to that is no. I also get that question personally quite a bit from prospective students. Really, don't worry, you will find a project. You don't, and as you get into the material and you have exposure to different things, everybody finds a project. You will have a faculty advisor, whether it's Sam or another member of our faculty, and they will help you brainstorm ideas, try to figure out what you can do, and work with you to make sure that you will have a suitable project. So don't have any worries about finding a capstone project or identifying one that you feel will meet the requirements of both your company and the requirements of the degree. And so I think any final words, Sam, that you want to share before we sign off?
Yeah.
I think other than that, we're good to go.
Let me just add to the CLP question, and that is, should you find yourself either unemployed, for example, when you're in the program, or in a very small company where a CLP really doesn't quite, jive, not to worry, we have students in that situation, and faculty have projects that we can solicit from other companies or from the university itself. So should you be in that situation and not in a company where it's easy to get a CLP, we can cover your needs.
Excellent. Thanks, Sam. So thanks again, everyone, for being here today. Oh, let me see. We may have had one question pop in before we. Oh, does a letter of recommendation have to come from a supervisor? We do prefer that the letter does come from somebody who can comment on your on-the-job performance. Ideally, that would be, it doesn't have to be your current manager. It could be somebody from a previous manager, or if you're in an organization where it's a matrix organization, you have people who may not be your direct supervisor or manager, but they're sort of have a oversight or can comment on your work. That's okay too, but it is preferable that it try to be from somebody who has been in a supervisory or managerial capacity over you, so they can comment about your on-the-job performance. That would be preferable, if at all possible. And if you have any questions, or there's a concern you have about getting that type of reference, please reach out to me directly, and I'm sure I can provide more specific guidance based on your particular situation. Excellent. So thank you again, everyone. I really look forward to hearing from you, and hope that you'll consider applying. And any questions, please email me at nancy.bushko@tufts.edu. Thanks again to the panelists and to Sam for being here, and have a great evening.
Thanks,
Take care,
folks.
Thank you so
everyone.
much.
Good night.
Yeah,
Bye.
thank you.
Bye-bye.